All right, we're live, Matt.
Hey, welcome to the Green Beret Life. This is Matt. That's Stu. This is the SCIF. Got a real busy show tonight. We're on YouTube and Rumble. Are we on Odysee tonight, Stu, or no?
We're on Rumble and Odysee and YouTube. Yes, we're on all three.
Sweet. So we're on all three. So if you're joining us on YouTube, please look at the link that we have and come and join us on one of those other two platforms, because we're only going to be on YouTube for a little while. The reason being, why are we only on YouTube for a little while, Stu?
Because they suck.
That's exactly right. They suck. And they don't allow free speech. So we want to pull everybody over to Rumble or Odysee or hell, any other platform other than YouTube until they get their act together. So what do we got on the docket tonight, Stu?
We've got a little bit of everything. We're going to look at what we think we can expect coming out of the Trump presidency coming up. Talk a little bit about the California wildfires and the state that the state of California has allowed the environment and the firefighters they've made their bed and now they're lying in it.
It's intentional. Everybody knows it. We'll get into that, despite what YouTube feels about that. So, yeah,
we're going to look at that, and we've got some other stuff there was some.
It's too stupid not to be intentional.
Oh yeah, there's some confirmation hearings and stuff that went on today with a couple of Trump nominees, and pretty much whatever else we managed to.
I gotta say one thing. It's allegedly intentional. Allegedly.
Well, they've already arrested a bunch of people for setting fires since
releasing them.
Yeah.
This whole thing is too stupid.
The homeless guy with the freaking he had the blowtorch. He was starting fires. He was setting trash cans and stuff on fire. Citizens arrested it, held him till the police got there. The police like, yeah, there's not really enough evidence that he's doing anything. He's like,
no, yeah, just
okay.
They shouldn't get a dime. They shouldn't get a dime until this is all sorted out and fixed and figured out. And the people in charge of this mess all need to be fired. There's a woman there, getting $750,000 a year.
Don't be stepping on my story, Matt.
Okay. I don't want to step on the story, but we'll get into it more. Nice. No, we can't have anything nice. So, what do you want to start with?
Let's see. Well, let's start with this one here. As you guys know, there's been a kind of a ceasefire deal that's been reached between Israel and Hamas. And it's funny. It's really right there along with the whole Carter and Reagan thing, how all these hostages were being held and Carter was just spinning his wheels, unable to make any sort of traction on getting them released. As soon as Reagan was elected, within days, there's talks in place. There's plans being made to repatriate these people and all this. And the same thing has happened here in Hamas with Israel and Hamas with a lot of these hostages. Well, the ones that are probably still alive at any rate. And of course, Biden's trying to take credit for it.
Yeah, Biden's trying to and the media is trying to give Biden credit for it. Now, mind you, Trump basically came out and just reiterated, if those hostages aren't released by my inauguration day, all hell will break loose.
Well, Biden's trying to take credit for it because the framework of what he had proposed, the core of that is what was agreed to. But they've been trying to do this since last year, the middle of last year, with basically them getting a piss off from Hamas. Trump's guy, I forget, Weekoff or something is the guy's name. The Trump guy that was making some phone calls. He makes some phone calls, talks to Netanyahu, talks to some people, and now things are happening. And is like, okay, you can't really take credit for you saying, hey, we should stop this. And then 6 months later, 8 months later, somebody else makes a phone call and things stop. And they're like, yeah, that was our idea to stop this. We should get credit for it. It's like, come on, really? That's not the way that works.
Well, here's the deal. They're given the Israelis are turning over 1,000 terrorist hostages. And I had this thought earlier, and I saw Michael Savage talking about it, and he brought it up, and it's the same idea I have. I bet you those guys are chipped or something. You know what I mean? These hostages. And when they release them, they're going to know where they're at. You know?
Yeah.
And I'm hoping this is the case, but I had the same thought or something else with those chips, right? Now this is purely theoretical, folks, but I just can't see these are really shitbag terrorists, man, and 1,000 of them. But we need to get these hostages back. We need to figure out what the hell's going on over there, and we need to put out all the fires that this horrible disaster of an administration, the Biden administration, has created all over the world. And we've got landmines laid out there everywhere, in my opinion, for Trump.
Oh yeah, there's been basically a shit sandwich handed to Trump, and he's going to have to make his way through this catastrophe for the next 6 months. And I can guarantee you, starting from day one, it's going to be about how, this is Trump's mess now. Trump has failed to do anything. That's going to be the media refrain that they're going to be singing from the rooftops, of how he's failing to force Israel to do this. Hamas is laughing at him for that. And one thing that was funny, I was listening to a show the other day, and I started thinking about it. The media has always they've been, how it was ridiculous that Trump met with Kim Jong-un. It's Trump was a Putin puppet, all the talking points. It's like, okay, whatever you think,
those talking points were
think about what it was Trump was. What?
Those talking points were aimed at stupid people. Anybody with a brain knows they're bullshit.
My point is, no matter what you think about what it was Trump was doing, under Trump, we didn't have the Russia invading Ukraine. We didn't have North Korean soldiers fighting for the Russians in Ukraine. There things that wasn't happening. The North Korea had stopped doing their missile testing. All this stuff had tamped down. And now with
more importantly, Stu, we weren't sending hundreds of billions of dollars that we don't have to Ukraine to be laundered to go to God knows where, right?
Yeah.
And driving us even more into the trillions of debt. So I mean,
and I'm going to get the numbers wrong. Somebody had done the math, and I can't remember, and again, I'm getting the numbers wrong, but the point stands. If instead of sending the money to Ukraine, it was diverted to the people that had been displaced by the California wildfires, not just the ones that lost their homes, that had just been displaced. Every single member that had been displaced could have been sent, I think it was $700,000 or $1 million or something like that. But it's not. You know how much the people in California that are getting, that lost their homes, you know how much they're going to get?
Everything, from what I heard.
$770 from the federal government. $70 more than the Hawaii wildfire people got.
The people in North Carolina got a $750 loan. Then where's this $160 billion that Biden is promising Gavin Newsom? Where's that going? Into Act Blue? There's some rumors.
Probably.
Some rumors. Into a slush fund to bail them out because the state is borderline bankrupt because of their policies.
And it's one of the, and they like to tout that California is the fourth largest economy in the world.
Yeah. They're
And how do you
bankrupt.
have no money?
Yeah,
How are
they're
you
bankrupt.
constantly? It's ludicrous.
Yeah, I was
But
thinking that. I was thinking that before because Gavin Newsom never shuts the fuck up about how they're the fourth or the fifth largest economy in
yeah,
the world and da 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 da. They have no money. And then a month or so ago, they're talking about how they're going to fight Trump, but they don't have the money to fight Trump. Well, I
yeah.
think Biden just
Fight
promised.
Trump on what? The illegal immigration? I
Yeah,
mean, what is it?
the electric vehicle mandates, all of that bullshit. But here's the funny thing: they're setting a landmine because they're promising him everything, and they're hoping that Trump comes in and says, "There's no way we don't have the 160
Yeah,
billion, and
yep,
we're not going to just give this out carte blanche." So then everybody comes down. That's what they're trying to set for Trump. And
oh yeah,
meanwhile, you had way more people killed in North Carolina, and those people got shit. They got
yep,
nothing. The average house that burned, I saw this on the news, was allegedly $3 million a piece in
oh yeah,
California.
oh yeah. Let me see if I can. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
And these people voted for these dumbasses to drain their reservoirs to starve their farmers of water for some fish they call the Delta smelt. That's the cover story. That ain't what it's about. They set this whole thing. They knew the Santa Ana winds were coming. They drained all their reservoirs. All of their fire trucks were in disrepair. The ones that weren't in disrepair, supposedly, were sent to Ukraine. They fired over 100 police officers for not taking the jab. They pushed this DEI woke diversity bullshit and hired all lesbian, not all, but many, okay,
Yep.
to do the fire department. That the standards were lowered. That, I mean, the whole thing was an absolute. And the first fire, it took the fire department, the first one that broke out in the Palisades.
It was like
I
45
heard
minutes,
tonight,
wasn't it?
45
Yeah.
minutes for the fire department to arrive.
Well, here's
Right?
this, Matt, and it's real quick. It's just something I pulled up. This is Zillow, and it's not giving me everything, but this is the Palisades, Sunset
Mm-hmm.
Boulevard here, all these that burned, and these are the houses: 5.5 million, 6.5, 5.6, 2.3, 1.5, 3.9. These are all the houses. That's the price of the houses in these areas that have burned.
Oh my
And
Lord.
and so and just think about what this is going to do to the economy and the tax base of California. This area is destroyed. Think about all the regulations and the roadblocks to doing anything, building anything in California. How many years do you
I
think it's
saw
going to be before anybody can even get the permits to build again, much less
there was a
start?
big farm. There was a big fire in '93 or something, and it took people 12 and 13 years to rebuild their homes after all of the bureaucratic red tape that they had to cut through.
I mean, can you imagine how many people? And I mean, and I'm just throwing some assumptions out there. But do you think that somebody that's got a $6 million home in Palisades off of Sunset Boulevard, that's their only home? I mean, do you think they're
It would,
coming back to California? Or they're just going to be like, okay,
well, let me ask you this: for the people that are there, are there mineral deposits under that land, or is that land just so valuable that an organization that we've talked about before, or one like it, is going to come in and snap up the land when people have to pay these mortgages on a house that's not there anymore and not
yeah.
able to get
Well,
a,
California, they've run out the insurance companies because they were telling the insurance companies you cannot increase your premiums, you can't
Mhm.
increase the rates. So they were like, well, with
This is
the
this
conditions
all
being
has
what
to
they
be
are,
intentional. This all has
yeah,
to be intentional. You can't have this many missteps that all, and you look at Hawaii and it's almost a carbon copy of what they did in Hawaii. No water,
well,
right?
except for blocking the people in so they burn to
Yeah.
death. Yeah, it's almost the
Sending
exact
the
same
kids
thing.
home from school and then locking them in their house and blocking the road so people couldn't get out when there wasn't any water to put out the fires. Yet fire departments were spending time protecting Oprah Winfrey's home, allegedly, right? Give me a break, dude. Give me a break. I mean, yet Hawaii still went and voted straight Democrat. They went and voted straight Democrat. Now, did they really vote straight Democrat? Or, are we getting into things here that YouTube is going to cank us on? So,
one real quick, I got one comment by Freedom, and then we can move over. Freedom made a very good point. He said that developers are salivating, hoping that California zoning will now allow multi-tenant buildings there instead of these single-family homes.
That's the big push starting from the Obama administration.
Yep.
Yeah, going into the real nice.
Because every time you hear, the housing shortage. Well, now they've the land's the state's been wiped clear right there. Is that something they're going to look at doing? Of no single family homes can be rebuilt here. I mean, if so, they're going to have to buy that property off of the homeowners, or they're going to just eminent domain it.
That is a great point.
Yeah.
This is, you know what? They've trained us to think like this because they lie on almost every single thing. Yeah. There's something behind almost everything, and they want to call you a conspiracy theorist. But guess what? What is it? It's a matter of weeks between a fact sayer and a conspiracy theorist, right?
Yep.
So in today's environment, I mean, if you watch Joe Biden's speech tonight, you would be incredulous. And it's like, does he really believe? I mean, he's sitting here talking about the military-industrial complex that he fed for 4 years. What's Ukraine all about, for Christ's sakes? Are you kidding me?
Jesus Christ, he is senile.
Oh my Lord. And
right.
Somebody asked him today, was this because of the pressure Trump put on it? And he turned around and said, is that a joke? He probably really believes that he's the one who freed these hostages. That's how pathetic this is.
Yeah, he's like I said, he 6 or 8 months ago, he was like, hey, you guys, stop. And nothing happened for 8 months. Trump gets elected. He starts making phone calls. And like 2 days later, they're like, yeah, okay, we've got some peace accords we're going to do. And Biden's like, see, told you I could do it, guys.
Yeah.
But,
oh, yeah.
Hey, we're gonna bounce off of YouTube here.